Hello, it's Caroline Kennedy here. This video is about adding and subtracting directed numbers using these algebra tiles. It equally works with the double-sided counters as well. I would begin by modelling integers. Definitely wouldn't do that. -3, +5. And get collections of tiles that represent different integers. I would then maybe ask the students to pick one of them integers and represent it in a few different ways. This will be important, particularly with the subtracting of directed numbers, because you will need to make use of your wonderful zero-sum pairs. So if I ask to model +4, for instance, we could have that. We could have that, because we've got some zero-sum pairs. We could have, let me see, that, hopefully, would also be +4. Allow students ample time to familiarise themselves with the different colours of the tiles. This means positive, this means negative, and the concept of zero-sum pairs. And they should always write down what each representation is. When we think about adding integers, I would begin with the positives, because that's the most familiar. So we could say +4, writing it down, add +2 is equal to +6. And we can easily see that on even count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is a representation of that calculation there. Ordinarily we wouldn't include the little positives here, and you might want to say that because that is a very familiar calculation. If we then include a negative, so +4, add -2, we can make some zero pairs. That disappears, and what we're left with is +2. And really spend some time modelling that and thinking about them zero pairs. Obviously up before then you really dealt with the zero pairs, but just make sure that that is firmly in the students' minds when they're doing that calculation. If I do -4, plus +2, we again think about the zero pairs, and we will be left with -2. And -4, add -2, -4, and 2 more, add -2, gives us -6, and that's very easy to see there. Make sure you have lots of practice, really think about what's happening and any patterns that are occurring, and anything that might really help the children. You might say, how would you model -7, add +5. You might give them lots of opportunities to do lots of messing about adding these tiles together, but obviously the focus is on this zero-sum pair. When we get on to subtracting directed numbers, I would start again by just focusing on numbers with the same sign. So let's have a look. We've got positive 5, subtract positive 2, and this idea that when we're subtracting we are removing 2 of them, something in that movement there, gives us positive 3. Negative 5, subtract negative 3, would give me negative 2. If I then think about positive 5, subtract negative 2, I really have to set this up and really think about it. I've got positive 5 and I haven't got any negatives to subtract there. So we go back to our modelling of integers and think, how else could I write positive 5? And we could represent that in that way. But again, give students lots of time to really think about that, and they'll have had lots of experience of it up till then. And then if we take away the 2 negatives, what are we left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Positive 7. If I do a very similar thing where I have negative 5, subtract positive 2, so negative 5 here, you can see there is no way I can subtract 2 positives because they're not there yet, but we do the same kind of thing here. We find an equivalent collection, a little collection of tiles that's going to help us, and has a value of negative 5, and we're going to subtract these 2 positives, leaving us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 negative 1s. Okay. Make sure you are really clear about what you're doing before you work with the children. Again, give yourself ample time to familiarise yourself with them concepts. Think about your questioning, think about what examples you're going to ask them to do, and then give students lots of time to play again.